Hello and welcome to our virtual Lunch and Learn today. We are going to be talking about newly released Rockwell Automation Safety Components. My name is Rachel Green. I'm the Digital Communications Specialist here at McNaughton-McKay Electric Company. And presenting for us today will be Chris Haichu, Systems Engineer out of our Madison Heights, Michigan location. Out in the comments section, ready to answer your questions, is Mike Brennan, Systems Engineering Supervisor, also out of Madison Heights. And we'll also have a Q&A portion at the end of Chris's presentation so he can answer your questions in more depth. Hi, Mike. Hi, Matt, Carol, and Leanne. Thanks for joining us. We'll be getting started shortly, but we'd like to allow a few minutes for attendees to join us. As you come in, let us know where you're tuning in from in the comments section. As we continue to socially distance here, we are happy to be able to host these live sessions for you on YouTube and make it possible for you to join us from the comfort and safety of your own homes and offices. You can view recordings of previous virtual Lunch and Learns on our YouTube channel under the Virtual Lunch and Learn playlist, and we'll be continuing this series every Wednesday at noon, so be sure to join us on your lunch break. Hi, Utsav. Thanks for joining us today. For anyone just coming in, welcome to the Virtual Lunch and Learn today, newly released Rockwell Automation Safety Components. Let us know where you're joining us from in the comments. We'll be looking for your questions as you have them in the comments section while Chris Haichu tells us about newly released Rockwell Automation Safety Components featuring light curtains, guard locking gate switches, and electromagnetic safety switches. Our specialist, Mike Brennan, will be ready to respond to your questions in the comments as we go along. We'll also have a Q&A segment at the end of Chris's presentation. If you'd like to reach out afterward or if you have further questions for Chris, you can send us an email at the email address you see on the screen there, macandmaclive@macandmac.com. Be sure to let us know which session you attended so we can get your questions to the right person, and Chris will reach out to you directly. All right, it looks like we have a number of viewers with us now, Chris, so I'm going to pass it over to you now.
All right, thanks, Rachel, and good afternoon to everyone out there. All right, thanks, Rachel, and good afternoon to everyone out there. Today, we're going to talk about two new products in the 440G MZ, the 440G EZ guard locking gate switches. These gates are both guard locking, go about that in very different ways for very different reasons. We will also talk about one product that has been on the market for a while, but has some new functionality that launched recently and even more functionality that will be released very soon in the 450L light curtain family. First up is the 440G MZ guard locking safety switch with embedded GuardLink technology. The 440G MZ is designed for applications with medium to large doors where full body access is possible. It has a high 2,500 Newton holding force and wide tolerance to misalignment of plus or minus 5 millimeters. And it's the first safety product from Rockwell with built-in GuardLink technology. The MZ has the safety ratings that you would expect from a Rockwell automation safety product, achieving performance level E, category 4, and SIL 3 for door monitoring and guard locking. Models that will allow for the use of an escape release are expected to be available by the end of 2020. I already mentioned the high misalignment tolerance earlier. This is achieved by the fully flexible actuator that the product ships with. The actuator can flex up and down, left and right, and even rotate 360 degrees. This, along with the beveled openings on the switch, help to compensate for some door misalignment. I'll give you a quick overview of GuardLink. GuardLink allows you to daisy chain up to 32 safety devices without a loss of safety rating. This means that even though you're daisy chaining, you can still achieve performance level E. GuardLink is simple to use in that you land 4 wires on the safety relay itself, and the rest of the system uses GuardLink taps and standard M12 patch cords. Some additional GuardLink benefits: you get enunciation on the end devices, as well as the taps, making it simple to see what devices are tripped. Through the use of an Ethernet gateway that works with Rockwell's GSR family of safety relays, you can receive fault information and diagnostics on a per device basis directly back into your standard Logix PLC. This gateway also allows for reset and lock or unlock commands from your standard PLC over Ethernet. For more information on GuardLink and how it works, please find the Lunch and Learn video done by my colleague Jim Birdie, which streamed live on May 6th, 2020. If you've used GuardLink in the past, you know that you need a tap for each device in the link. The tap you choose is based on the end device, whether that's solid state or electromechanical, and if it has a 5-pin or an 8-pin. With the MZ, the GuardLink smarts are built into the device, so it only requires a passive tap to be a part of the link. The passive tap comes in 2 variants and looks very similar to the other taps in this family. There are a standard passive tap and a power passive tap that allows you to inject more power into the GuardLink from a secondary power supply. This is needed to prevent a voltage drop once there are many devices on the link. Rockwell offers a voltage calculator to help aid you in figuring out when additional power is needed. The MZ comes with a 6-inch pigtail that has a 5-pin M12 connector on the end. The wiring is what you would come to expect from a 5-pin safety device, allowing for use with safety relays, safety I/O, GuardLink relays, and on-machine safety I/O. One thing to note here is that while swapping pin 2 and 4 when using it in OSSD mode still work and give you the desired outputs, if you swap those pins when using it with a GuardLink relay, you will not be able to make the system work. Here's a quick application where the 440G MZ could be used on a bottling line. On the right side of the slide, you can see the 4 MZ devices wiring back to the GuardLink relay. Just to the left of the relay is the gray Ethernet module that I mentioned earlier. This takes the status of the GuardLink relay and devices and sends that information to the standard Logix PLC so it can be displayed on the PanelView Plus. Lastly, you'll notice that the GuardLink relay still fires the outputs, which in this case are safety contactors controlling a motor. This slide shows a couple of the different mounting options that are available. The picture on the top right shows how this setup can be utilized if you wanted to mount the switch on the inside of a hinged door. The picture on the left shows a traditional setup with the switch on the outside of the door, while the photo on the bottom shows provisions for a sliding door. These are the brackets that allow you to mount in the different ways shown on the previous slide, as well as a padlock accessory, which gives you 3 holes allowing for lockout tagout procedures. All right, now we're going to try and show you a quick video of the 440G MZ. All right, so here's the MZ and its actuator. Again, it's fully flexible, rotating 360 degrees and moving in all directions, including in and out. Once the actuator is inserted, I give it the lock command and voila, it will lock. I then unlock the door and show that the actuator can also be inserted on either side of the switch as well. Lastly, I show that you can give a lock command without the actuator being present, and the switch will wait for the door to close and then lock immediately. The switch itself is approximately 7 inches by 1 inch by 1 inch. This keeps it pretty compact for mounting on your gates. If we look at the guard locking portfolio from Rockwell, you can see that the MZ is positioned as the top of the line product. It offers the highest holding force and misalignment tolerance. It can also be had as a power to lock or a power to release product. And it can be used as a solid state or a GuardLink device and keeps things simple with a 5-pin M12 connection. So to summarize, it has an extremely flexible actuator that allows for any mounting circumstances and is available with standard or unique coating. It also has two bright LEDs that wrap around the sides, providing a 270-degree view of the device status, as well as the GuardLink status. And as mentioned already, it has a 2,500 Newton holding force to go along with an IP69K ingress rating. Now we'll go through a couple of frequently asked questions. So if GuardLink is embedded in the MZ, do I still need to use a smart tap? The answer, as I mentioned, is no. Devices with embedded GuardLink technology connect to a GuardLink system using a passive tap or a passive power tap. So how do I know when to use a passive power tap? The passive taps are only required if the voltage on the link drops below 20.4 volts. You can find the voltage calculator provided by Rockwell in Proposal Works or on the knowledge base. I thought that GuardLink doesn't support power-to-lock guard locking switches. Can the power-to-lock version of the MZ be used in a GuardLink system? This answer is yes. Both versions of the MZ, the power-to-lock and the power-to-release, can be used in a GuardLink system. This is due to having embedded GuardLink technology and the ability for the switch to communicate directly with the master. So what diagnostics and fault information is provided? Well, for diagnostics, you can get ready to lock status, actuator not paired, guard door open, approaching the max or min input voltage, and attempting to lock or unlock. For fault information, you can get failure to lock or unlock, exceeded the max or min input voltage, commissioning error codes, actuator detection faults, and bolt detection faults. Does the MZ have an aux signal? The answer to this is no. Because the 440G MZ uses a 5-pin QD, 2 of those pins are used for power, 2 are used for the safety signals, and the final pin is used for the lock or the command line. If you're able to get your hands on this slide deck, this slide will give you links to the product profile, installation instructions, and the user manual. Next up is the 440G EZ Electromagnetic Safety Switch. So we just discussed a locking gate switch and actuator designed for full body access. So what is different about the 440G EZ? The EZ, as I'll call it, is a non-contact interlocking device with a locking function that is power to lock only. This is because the EZ is designed to protect a running process from being interrupted. It meets performance level E and SIL 3 for interlocking applications. It has a 500 Newton holding force and is very easy to install since there is no tongue interlock like on a traditional gate switch. Because it is process focused, it will help you to increase productivity, reduce scrap, and improve efficiency. The 440G EZ will also work with GuardLink, as a power to lock tap will be released soon to accommodate this type of switch. As I already mentioned, the 440G EZ is power to lock only with a 500 Newton holding force when locked. The magnet also provides a 25 Newton holding force when it's not energized. The switch has a plus or minus 5 millimeter tolerance against misalignment, visible LEDs on the bottom that will display when the switch is locked and when the OSSD inputs are on or off. And it's available with a 5-pin M12 or an 8-pin M12 pigtail. The 8-pin on this switch will provide you with an aux output for door status. It is also IP67 rated to go along with its PLE rating. So here are some customer pain points. Machine stop time. Everyone wants to see faster machine stopping times. The 440G EZ has a 50 millisecond response time to aid in this. Another concern is that access time to the hazard must be longer than the stop time of the machine. This is important that if the control voltage is lost on a power to lock switch, the door can be opened. Risk assessments are critical in these applications. And occasionally a tongue actuator can be a stab hazard if a door swings closed and a person isn't paying attention to it. The flat electromagnetic design of this switch makes sure there are no stabbing hazards. Here's a table showing the LED status based on a given condition. For example, if the door was in the lock position and someone forcibly opened it, the OSSD and the aux signals would turn off, giving a steady red and yellow indicator on the switch. Here's a quick video of the 440G EZ. In the beginning, I show the switch, and then I'll place the actuator onto the switch. As I mentioned, there is a small 25 Newton holding force from the magnet when it is de-energized. Next, I'll show the sensing range that the product offers so that if the door didn't quite get shut all the way, the switch may still make if it's within 10 to 15 millimeters. Now I'll go ahead and lock the EZ, engaging that 500 Newton holding force. I'm going to spin the actuator here to simulate someone opening the door so you can see the OSSD lights go red. If the door is shut again, the OSSDs will go back to green to indicate a shut condition. Again, the wiring is what you would expect from a 5-pin safety device, allowing for use with safety relays, safety I/O, GuardLink relays, and on-machine safety I/O. Also, to reiterate, the 8-pin does come with the addition of an aux output. The EZ is 120 millimeters long, 60 millimeters wide, and only 34 millimeters deep. The actuator shares these same dimensions. Again, this slide will show you some marketing and technical collateral with links for product profiles, user manuals, drawings, and installation instructions. And finally, the Guard Shield 450L. The 450L light curtain family comes in two varieties: the 450LB Basic and 450LE Enhanced models. Both meet performance level E, SIL 3, and point of operation control applications. The 450L family uses a 30 by 30 millimeter compact housing that has no dead zone, allowing for the entire light curtain height to be part of the protection zone. They also both take advantage of a universal transceiver design that allows each stick to be either an emitter or a receiver. This is accomplished by the use of plug-in modules. When a module is inserted and the light curtain is powered up, the transceiver or light stick then becomes either the emitter or the receiver. The highlighted items in gray here apply to both the basic and the enhanced family, such as the slim design, easy top and bottom mounting, advanced plug-in technology for the unique stick architecture. The bubbles in pink are for the enhanced model only. These include the ability to cascade, an increased operating range, and the ability to do muting and blanking. The enhanced model also has laser alignment for fast installation. The photo on the left highlights the visual differences between the enhanced and the basic transceivers. Both models have LEDs that display the output status, define if the transceiver is acting as an emitter or a receiver, and to show if there is an alignment error on the top half or the bottom half of the light stick. Additionally, the enhanced model has LEDs for cascading, muting, and blanking. On the right, the square box at the bottom where it says laser alignment is where you turn the laser on and off just by placing your finger there for 1 to 2 seconds. The 450L muting distribution block allows you to quickly and easily set up a muting application. It accommodates both 2-sensor and 4-sensor muting. The light curtain receiver and the sensors all connect to the muting block with M12 quick disconnects to make wiring a snap. Additionally, there is a muting lamp and a muting station that also connect directly to the muting block to make this a standalone solution. The muting station is an optional accessory that allows you to mount a reset and mute override switch and indicators near the light curtain itself. Now I'll show a quick video of the muting application. So right away, you can see the curtain is able to be tripped when the arm is placed inside. As the box passes the second sensor, you'll see the amber light on the bottom of the screen turn on, indicating the light curtain is muted. As he completes the pass-through with the box, you will see the muting lamp turn off, indicating the light screens are active again. As he does the process in reverse, the muting lamp will come on and he's able to put his arm in the light curtain field without tripping them. If they were to trip, that muting lamp would have gone off. He then finishes the pass-through with the box and the lamp goes off again, indicating the curtains are active. On this slide, we show where the 450L Basic and Enhanced slot into the Rockwell light curtain portfolio. You can see the 450L is on the top end of having the most advanced functionality, while the Basic family slots in next to the soon-to-be obsolete 445L Safe 4 family. One thing to note is that 445L family is going obsolete at the end of October. So if there's anybody on the call, please reach out to me and let's get you migrated over to the family that makes the most sense for your application. Moving on to some technical specs. These light curtains can span large openings of up to 53 feet, depending on the model. One thing to note here is that many people commission their light curtains on a table or a floor and set them down facing each other at a very close distance. In the past, that would work just fine. But because of the universal transceiver that allow each light stick to be an emitter or a receiver, the minimum distances on the 450L has gone up a bit. So please make sure you keep that in mind when you're commissioning your 450Ls. The 14mm resolution isn't too bad with a minimum distance of a half a meter. Where we see this come into play the most is on the 30mm resolution product, having a minimum distance of just under 1 meter. And as mentioned earlier, the slide also shows differences between what each version can support, with the Enhanced being the model for muting, blanking, and cascading. The new integrated laser alignment system on the 450LE now has multiple beams to help you line up the light curtains. Simply place your finger over the white box near the bottom of the transceiver and the laser will activate or deactivate. When it turns on, you will see multiple beams that fan out to help you align the entire length of the light curtain instead of just one spot like on the previous models. Through the use of an optical interface accessory, you can connect to these light curtains using Rockwell's free Connected Components Workbench software, also known as CCW. This software can help you with things like diagnostics for troubleshooting, adjusting muting times, and setting up blanking. With CCW, you can configure up to 8 zones with various blanking types. This is something that can't be accomplished with using only dip switches on the unit itself. CCW will also show you on a per beam basis if it is blocked, if blanking is set up for it, or even if the beam intensity is diminished, possibly indicating the screen may need to be cleaned. Each 450L will come with top and bottom mount brackets, with the side mount brackets being available as an accessory. The optical interface that I mentioned snaps onto the front of the light stick, allowing it to commute to with CCW over USB. There is also a standalone laser alignment tool that can be used with the 450LB family since it does not have the integrated laser. Lastly, There are also weld splatter shield kits for those more demanding applications. In the past, when you selected a light curtain pair, you'd pick the appropriate part number and purchase a quantity of one, and you'd get a functional set. With the 450L, it works a little different due to the universal transceiver and plug-in module flexibility. Selecting the 450L is pretty simple as most of the part number is built for you. You just need to decide if you want the basic or the enhanced 30mm hand or 14mm finger resolution and what your protective height needs to be. The thing to note here is that you need a quantity of 2 pieces of this part number. The second step is selecting the plug-in modules that you need. The transmitter is pretty easy. Do you need to power it with a 5-pin M12 or an 8-pin M12? For the receiver, you select the functionality that you require, and that will determine your part number. For example, if you need to do muting and blanking, you'll want the 450L-APR-MU-8. If you just need simple on and off functionality, you can use the 450L-APR-ON-5. Lastly, if you choose the enhanced model and you'd like to cascade these to an additional set of light curtains, you'll need the cascading plug-in for the top of your receiver so it can connect to the next set. The 450LE family will allow you to cascade up to 4 pairs in series. And one more thing before we go. Expected to be available next month is the 450L CIP Safety over Ethernet system for the 450LE family. The 450L CIP Safety module and plug-in transform the 450L light curtains into smart devices, allowing full network communication for exchanging safety and diagnostic information, as well as for configuration purposes over an Ethernet IP network. This will be done through the use of an add-on profile within Studio 5000 software. The distribution blocks will support DLR, allowing for multiple Ethernet light curtains or other CIP Ethernet safety products like the 442G MAB gate switch or the upcoming CIP Safety laser scanner. More on that in a future presentation, I'm sure. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to me this afternoon. If you have any questions, please ask them in the chat or feel free to reach out to me directly. I'd be happy to discuss these products or any others along with any of your safety applications. Have a great afternoon.
Great, thank you, Chris. We did have a question in the comments section from Tim. Tim asked, what is the ambient temperature rating of the 440 GEZ or the max temperature of the surface it can be mounted on? And Mike Brennan did look this up for us. He found that the operating temperature is anywhere from -20 Celsius to 55 degrees Celsius, which comes out to be -4 Fahrenheit to 131. Is there anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I think that covers it. As far as the temperature that it's able to mount to, we would have to dig into that if that's something that we need to find out for them. Okay, great. Wonderful. Well, I'll just give a few minutes here in case anyone has any follow-up questions for you. And while we wait, I'd like to remind you that you can always reach out to us at the email address there on the screen, macandmaclive@macandmac.com. Send your questions to us and just let us know which session you attended so we can pass them along to the presenter. And then Chris can reach out to you directly with an answer. And it looks like we are all finished with questions in the comment section. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Chris, for that wonderful presentation. And thank you, Mike, for being our resource out in the comment section. We hope this session was informative and engaging for you. And remember to subscribe to the McNaughton-McKay YouTube channel for more industry content like this. And join us again next week at your lunch break on Wednesdays for the Virtual Lunch and Learn series. Thank you all for attending. Have a great day.